All right, we good.
We are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another session of the Ninth Thorns. As we were in the middle of the action last time, we are just going to go straight into recap of last session and keep on keeping on, starting with Zara.
Yeah, so we started at Rex and Sant. It was like 15 hours since Lees Van Horn had snuck out of the city after failing to recruit people to stop us. A couple of places she could have gone to was Montmirach village in the mountains or Rosanbeek. Both interesting sounding places. One with a troll problem, the other full of weirdo people who are a commune of Ebon coasters who do like this democracy thing. Sounds terrible. Also, a king's messenger had passed through recently. We decided that we were just going to force march our way towards the chapel in hopes of curing our potential werewolf problem, since Mador and I both potentially are infected. No way to know for sure until the full moon happens. We got ambushed by Lees Van Horn, a couple of cyclopses, a hippopotamus, a hobgoblin, and some other shenaniganry. There was a snow pile of piranhas to play in if you're into that. Uh, we won that fight. Lees fled again. We decided to ignore her and keep pushing towards the abbey. We encountered a cart. Everyone had been murdered except for potentially children who seemed to have been kidnapped. We decided to follow that trail because can't leave children in the grasp of whoever. And then we found a camp with a bunch of friends. And I will let Marisol say what we found at the camp.
Yeah, we found more trouble, as we often do. And when everything was said and done, and our quarry was being threatened, we decided to break in. And we offered her leniency and to just take her in, but she decided not to. But she handed me her locket with the pictures of her kids in them. So we're hunting kids now, apparently. Perhaps Estrella could tell us more about what happened because she saw it all before the rest of us arrived at the camp.
Yes, indeed, she did. She saw someone that she phrased was a bad-looking priest threatening Lise Van Horn. And she marked that individual with a mark of death. So that person is still down in the underground, where we are probably heading now, if I am not completely mistaken. Preacher.
That is true. I am a little bit confused though, because I think that I remember us when Marisol basically was handed the locket in a dying gesture from Lise. Please save my children. I seem to recall that we also took her head and kept it together with the locket. Just, I don't know, maybe for the bounty, maybe to give it to her children, I don't know. That's about the whole recollection of that final bit there. Passing to Leopold.
Well, taking the head for the bounty and looking for her children and not opposed to each other. So, yeah, not a lot to add. Yeah, group decisions all the way along. Little guidance here and there. Leo still needs to get better at telling people who to shoot at, but other than that, see if Mado has anything to add. Mado.
Well, I know we had skis made for our trip at that past village. We were making good time when that first ambush occurred. Of course, the only injury I received from that one was from our wizard. Well, we won't bring that up again, will we? And then the second campaign, the second battle, we fought a little bit further after we came across the the wagon. We defeated what was there, and I don't think nothing else can be added other than I believe we got about 10 hours before the next full moon, if I'm right. Eody.
I don't remember hitting anybody with anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I know Marisol got some gun upgrades. I remember Leo got like stomped out multiple times. I thought this man was going to die for sure. So maybe instead of worrying about like who we need to shoot, I think my man Leo needs to worry about hiding behind anything at this point. But otherwise, we had a lot of fun, like tracking all that down, trying to save the children and all that. And I guess we're going into a basement of super fun, if I had to guess. I look forward to it. I think Ed Boy's the last one who hasn't gone, right?
Yep, and I think everything's been said. So, Shaga?
Yes, indeed. Well, you're finding yourself standing in the camp. The beetle skeletons you were fighting have fallen down into pieces. You finally managed to corner and kill Lise Van Horn. And yeah, there's a doorway in this old house that leads down. The stairs going downwards, where you can actually see like heat, mist almost coming up out of it. Looking around, otherwise the floor around here, although mostly overgrown, it's made in a black and white checker pattern, and made of some sort of material that, well, you're uncertain what it is, but it is very old. Creature's got some vague memories of floors like this, but it's going to take some time to settle in his head before, because it is so long ago and it wasn't really an important detail back then. Seeing it now, however, you're fairly certain that you saw this type of floors when you were first created.
Millennia ago. Okay.
And I believe at least Leopold is still pretty beat up.
Yeah, Leo's feeling himself intact ribs and bleeding out of quite a few places and generally looking fairly rough.
Yeah, Larian's sitting on a ledge of broken rock, looking pretty beat up and hurt as well. After the trio of arrows he took from Van Horn.
So if we want to have any chance to save the children, we should patch those up really quick, because they are definitely down there. I don't know if they're still alive.
I will have Lyrian stay out here and take Roran inside. Birds don't do too well, in confined areas.
I'm actually gonna take a moment to hunters mark the kids and look and see if their tracks are anywhere near here.
Give us a survival roll.
Lore hunting, actually, on that ability.
Okay, feel free.
Yep, I do the survival rolls.
Mm-hmm. No, you can't see their tracks around here.
They might not be here at all,
He definitely said that the offering of those two little ones from her is barely sufficient.
Yeah, but that might be the other kids. So these are not Lise Van Horn's kids.
No, I meant the two that we tried to rescue here.
Absolutely. I say we go down and look for them, but we really need to help our fearless leader first.
Hardly fearless, though. But I am willing. Just need a little help at the moment.
I take out a packet of healing tools and such, and head over to Leopold and start basically taping up his ribs. I think.
Yeah, let me help you. That will be faster.
I can always do a first aid on if you want me to.
Well, that's a 27 there, so that'll definitely do when it comes to and 24. So you heal what you can with the medicine. Pretty certain Quinn's got a good idea of what you should be rolling for that.
2d8 and wounded condition removed if you were wounded.
Excellent.
So we're healing. Let's see now. That times 2.
He was definitely wounded.
9 hit points and wounded removed.
Should I roll as well?
There's a limit to how much medicine
Okay.
can be done.
Yes, we can continue doing this for an hour, though.
Nah, that will be
Keep
too long.
going. Which would double that last roll, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah, he's still pretty torn up though. That much is clear. But he's a big boy, so you're the ones that are going to have to decide what you want to be doing.
That helped a little. Thank you.
Welcome.
You should probably stay in the back.
I was thinking that, but I cannot track from the back.
Fine. I'll cast a healing. Gosh.
No. How many do you have left today?
One level 1, one level 2.
Perhaps a level 1?
$13.
Thank you, Ademir.
But I do believe that the sooner we can go down, the better, right?
Then let's go.
Yes. Let us go look for the children.
Right. So who is going to go down first? I'm guessing that's Estrella.
Yeah, and I am going to use my perception, of course, to seek my mark. I get a +2. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
Well, you're pretty certain he's down here somewhere. He's got to be down here
It
somewhere.
does every time, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you go down and you find a cavern. Very nicely.
Is there any map up yet?
Yeah, it's coming. Very nicely made cavern with pretty smooth walls. Obviously made by craftsmen. There are two mummified bodies laying out in bandages, and well, you can see remnants of armor.
Somebody want to give those mummies a couple good stabs?
And it looks like the map's kind of showing off here, but that's okay. These things happen.
Are these mummies child size or adult size?
They are definitely adult sized. They've been pretty large actually. Probably about 6'4", 6'5", and muscular in life if you're to hazard a guess.
I'm gonna give them a couple good stabs, just to make sure.
Yeah, you don't get any reaction from them.
You get a raised eyebrow from Estrella, though. She does not seem to be happy to see the dad being stabbed.
Hey, you never know.
Other than that, you can see, you can feel warm, moist air moving from further in.
Well, there's only one way.
True.
Let us go cautiously then.
Yes.
Estrella, if you will take the lead. Thank you.
Okay. Let's just hope there is no ambush ahead, because she points at her leather armor. This will not hold much.
I can back you up.
What's wrong with leather armor? It's great. I point to my leather armor. It's fine.
All right then. I'll go ahead.
Just
So-
don't get hit.
Yes, so you're sneaking up.
Yeah. And since we talked and I'm not stealthy anymore, I have to go stealthy again.
Yes, that is
Let's-
correct.
At least a little bit better, I think. What
You're
was my...
You're fairly confident you're stealthy. Give us a perception roll, by the way.
All right. Ha!
You can see bundles of dust and bundles of stone and bones from where some sort of undead have obviously set off traps heading in. Fairly confident what you're kneeling behind used to be the skeleton of some sort of giant, but it's been perforated by dozens of bronze darts.
Okay, but the trap has not been reactivated, right?
Nope. And moving up, kind of flapping in the air, you see two pretty unusual looking skeletons.
Okay. Since Preacher is right behind me, I am half turning towards him and making with my arms this, and you said I see two, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wave with my arms like this and point two in the air.
All right. I stop, confused, and just stop.
And then I point at my weapon, so he knows. Yeah, danger.
Enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Preacher moves up, there's just a slightest hint of his clay body grinding on the cavern wall, and the heads of those two skeletons snap up, and they start moving up towards you.
I step behind Preacher.
Right, and that is going to take us to initiative.
Before
Actually,
the battle, I need to take the tiny dog out. She is almost scratching my arm off.
oh, we're there today. Okay. Meanwhile, I can try to figure out what just happened with my map.
Good break.
Seems to have moved things around. Arena's going to take Tiny Dog out for a real quick spin. We will simply keep going, and we'll. I'll use Marisol to attack for Arena. However, that Marisol was first in the turn, so she's just gonna move up and take cover behind the wall and load her gun, taking us to Mador.
Right. I'm gonna be moving up to right behind us, Aristal. Set pike for no, actually I'm calling forth Lucerne Hammer
Hmm.
and setting for any type of charge or whatever.
Okay. Leopold.
Leo is just going to move to the mouth of the cavern there. And he's going to. I can't see Cherek.
That's because he was hiding.
And, Leo just commands Cherek to go slightly in front of him there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to draw both his rapier and his curry, and that's his turn.
Very well. That takes us to Edamir.
Well, it's looking like it's getting quite a tight fit. So I'll just move there and there.
Okay. Would've. There we are. Had to click repeatedly. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. My map seems to have gone a bit skew, but that's hardly news. What does this ability do? Right, so this harpy skeleton is going to fly up here, and then it shrieks.
Of course.
An unholy, not to mention extremely loud shriek. And that's going to be a DC 26 will save from Preacher, Estrella, and Mador.
Ouch. Close, but not completely.
And it's got to be well saved, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So Preacher's good. Estrella is frightened one, and Mador, being a fighter, is also frightened one, but he doesn't care because he's got bravery. In addition, that is going to be, let's see, what's the damage dice on this thing? Because of course it's not only scary, it also hurts, being extremely loud. So that's going to be 18 sonic damage to Estrella and Mador, and 9 sonic damage to Preacher.
Ouch.
Is this a magic attack of some kind?
A magic? Was that what you said?
Yeah.
It's a mental fear attack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in that case, actually, I can use my warding tattoo.
Ah.
It has required me to attempt a saving throw. So, does it help or not? +1 status bonus to AC, saving throws, and resistance.
That's not going to take you over the threshold.
No, in that case, I can save that. Too bad.
Yeah, and the other harpy skeleton is going to fly up and do the exact same thing, but it only hits Preacher and Estrella. Let me see if Preacher now, after saving, is he actually immune? Nope. So that's going to be another DC 26 will save from Estrella and Preacher.
Oh, wait, Huh? Oh, because of the frightened one, it's 9 instead of 10, okay.
There we are. So That is going to be
This is gonna hurt.
20 sonic damage to each of you.
All right. Almost knocking me out with the screams.
Yeah, they are, especially being underground in a tunnel. This is not a good feeling. They are extremely loud. Loud and scary.
Mm-hmm.
Hum. Boom, 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 boom. And that takes us to Estrella.
I am so going to go back. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to move behind Marisol. And rummaging my backpack, actually.
Okay. And that takes us to Preacher.
Are they floating in the air or something? Or are they on
They
ground
flew
level?
up, but they kind of just skipped and jumped. They're on the ground now.
Okay. In that case, gonna do my stance first of all for the first action. Second action is gonna be moving up,
Mm-hmm.
and then basically clobbering that guy. Just the one flurry of blows.
Clobbered sight. Gotcha. The Klobbringen, as it's also known in German.
That's gonna be a total miss. Oh, second one maybe not.
Second one's a hit, sir. Let's see. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Punching it seems effective.
Hmm.
And there we are. That takes us to Albertine, who is currently currently a bit uncertain what she's actually going to do about the whole situation. She's going to move down and lay on hands on Estrella for 18 hit points.
Thank you.
Iodi.
Oh, yes. Well, Iodi has no fucking desire to be in that hallway. So, I will slide up to Zara. And then I'm going to cast Haste on Zara. He reaches his hand in his pocket and pulls like an old watch, kind of jiggles and goes, "Go fast."
Try to distract Tiny Dog here so we can get Arena back in the fight.
And that's my turn.
Right, Sara is now. Sara now has the zoomies, and it is Sara's turn. Yum. That is one move action. What else will we see from Zara?
Zara is going to move up a second time,
Uh-huh.
and then she's going to make a duplicate of herself right here.
Gotcha.
So that's 2 moves. I'm then going to use my esoteric lore to exploit the vulnerability of these harpy skeletons.
Right. There it is the harpy skeletons are they're rare, but you have heard of them. They are undead, so they have the usual undead immunities, death effects, disease, mental, paralyzed, poison, and unconscious. In addition to being resistant against cold, electricity, fire, piercing, and slashing. But the most dangerous thing of them is that shriek, which should take a little while to. They should take a little while to gather enough energy to do it again. But it does hit a 30-foot cone in front of them.
Excellent. So then Zara is going to spend her last action swinging her hammer at the back of the harpy skeleton's head.
Right. Let's see, with the flanking, that is still a miss. Your dice are on fire as usual today.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I am mighty
turn.
impressed. Right. You can hear screaming, painful screaming, as something comes sprinting out of one of the rooms there. It seems to be a person that's burning to death, but not quite done with the process.
Hmm.
And that individual is going to run straight up to Sara and try to punch her, which it does. So that is going to be 10 fire damage and another d6 persistent fire damage until she's put out, because Sara catches fire. And sprinting out of one of the other shops further down, another one is coming up. Taking us all the way around to Marisol.
Yes, I see I've been put in the perfect corner.
Nobody puts Marisol in the corner.
I can't see anything, so I'll need to move here somewhere.
That is one move.
What gun did you pick out for?
Whatever one she felt like. She has heard some god-awful screaming from up there, and Estrella came running back with blood pouring from her ears.
Oh. Well, now I see the things.
Yep.
And I am holding my Iris of the Sky. Which that one is perfectly within good range for.
Yeah, however, you don't really have line of sight to that one.
I have to that one.
That you do. Uh, 24. That is a hit, ma'am. Don't bother rolling any fire damage.
There's no fire damage on it unless I actually tell it to.
Ah. Gotcha. Well, that shot does seem to do some respectable damage.
Then I'm reloading and stay behind my door.
Gotcha. Speaking of Mador, it is his turn.
All right, I'm gonna move up to behind Preacher.
Kindly remove your range finder, Arena.
I'm on it.
I'm gonna swing on the harpy in front of him.
Gotcha. Ooh. With flank, that is a critical. That is good, solid 20 damage.
My second attack.
And Mador, being an expert with that weapon, and whoop, getting a critical, actually knocks that harpy onto its ass as well. Excuse me, the Shneesh. Right.
Do my second attack.
Yes, go for it. That's a hit. Yeah, that harpy skeleton's definitely busted up pretty badly. Which takes us to Leopold.
Okay. Leo's going to send Cherek forwards next to Preacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to. Okay, we'll just make a claw attack on the harpy skeleton.
Go for it, sir. And that is a hit.
Plus he gets. No, he doesn't. Sorry. Okay, we'll try. Okay, Leo lends him an action, so he gets another attack.
Ooh, that's that's not a critical, but it's a solid hit.
Your pet can only take 2 actions max.
Okay.
Leo's lending him one. Okay, and that's a 7. And Leo's third action is just going to be to move 10 feet.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
So I'm assuming there's some sort of rule where rangers can give an action to their pets. I'm not.
There is not.
There is not.
There isn't.
There we are.
No.
Well, in that case, Leo has 2 actions for still that he can use. He's moved, and what else is he gonna do?
Okay, he used an action to command Cherek. He still has a move, and he's just no. He's going to stay there.
Right. So another individual comes running out from one of the rooms. Let's see. Whoop. You can see he's got the blue, dark blue and white colors of a cleric of Quan, and also the holy symbol of a cleric of Quan. But the robes are dirty, filthy, dripping with muddy, tainted water and ichor and other undead lubricants. And the icon of Quan has been defaced and instead daubed in blood and gore on the front of his robes is the symbol of Ixtab, the Lady of Undeath. And he is dropping a harm on that harpy. And you can see its battered body starting to pull together a bit as he heals it with unholy energy. Edomir.
Okay, I'm going to move there and cast Disrupt Undead on the one that he just healed straight in front of me. So DC 21 Fortitude save.
Boom, 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 boom. That is a success. That's half damage, I assume.
7 damage.
Still just shaves off a fair amount of that harpy's flesh, so to speak.
Then Roar will move there. and that'll be it.
Right. That takes us to the harpies. This one is going to fall back. With one flight move. That's an attack of opportunity from Ador.
And from Zara.
And from Zara. I keep forgetting Zara has it. Dang. Okay. That's a hit with the Lucerne Hammer. It's a slippery little bugger, though. Hard to get a clean hit on it. And a miss from Zara, who cannot roll over 5 to save her life. Obviously. The other harpy as well is going to fall back. And you just used your attacks of opportunity. So that takes us to Estrella.
Yeah, Estrella takes out some wax from her backpack, it seems, and plugs it into her ears, making some improvised earplugs. And then she is going to move forward a bit again.
Mm-hmm.
To have a view on the battlefield again, and that's it for now. I'm going to use a perception on the priest I see down there to see if he does anything special.
Okay.
Since he's my mark, and I basically seek it, it's a +2, so 13.
Well, he's definitely present. You're pretty certain he cast a spell a moment ago. Preacher!
Is it possible for me to move around and sideways and attack that burning thing from the side without getting an attack opportunity from me?
Well, you won't know about the attack of opportunity until you try, but you can definitely move.
Yeah, because I would really want to do that and get that pillar cover from the enemy down below.
Yep, turns out he's not fast enough to get an attack of opportunity when you move.
Sweet. And then I hit him for a flurry blow.
That is 2 hits, sir. Oh. For a total of 31, dang. Yeah, you, it's not pleasant punching him, because the preacher's, well, he's made of clay, and his hands are fast enough that he doesn't actually combust from it. But that thing is burning hot. Like a wax candle. Albertine looks at Eodi and I think they need our help. Let's move up. I'll cover you. And she moves up behind Estrella, which takes us to Eodi.
Ah, yes. I think they need our help. Eodi's just kind of looking around. He's like, yes. They do need our help. This is true. I don't know what to do. Hold on. Let's go to... I'm going to cast Warp Step. And I'm going to go to... there. And then I get 2 more, so I'm going to go... there. And I'm going to go there.
Eodi just comes blinking past. Nyom.
And then I will use... I used my wand of missiles in that last fight. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I cannot. And then I am going to do nothing because I cannot. So I'll use my last action to step just around this corner real quick. And that will be my turn.
There we are. Zara starts her turn by taking 5 fire damage.
I take it at the end of my turn, Shago.
Tomato, tomato. It's 5 fire damage on your turn. It is Zara's turn, however, and she is hasted.
And I do not make the save to end the fire damage. Zara's going to move here.
Very well.
Then she's going to make a duplicate of herself right here.
Yum.
Surprise hello.
Didn't see that coming. What do you
Swinging
want?
at the harpy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Swings at the harpy, completely misses. She can hear glass shattering, but she's not entirely certain what fell out of her backpack, but something definitely did.
And then she will swing again.
That is a hit.
21 damage.
Smashes the back of the head of that harpy, and it is out of the fight. Falls down in a clutter of bones. I love it when you guys start being all creative in how you do these things.
Get out of the tunnel, you fools.
Hum, 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 hum. Right, this Firebro fighting Preacher howls. I'm gonna need a DC 17 will save from Preacher and Cherrick. Both make it, so that is 7 fire damage to each. And then it's gonna try to punchinate Preacher, misses with its first fist blow, and misses with the second one. Just not really having great success. The second one is gonna move. Is this thing smart enough to actually think about range? Let me check that intelligence stat real quick. It is not. So it's just gonna move up to Mador. So that is going to be a DC 17 will save from Mador, Roran, and Cherrick as it howls again. Right, so that will be 9 fire damage to Mador and Cherrick and 18 to Roran. Mador gets his attack of opportunity, by the way, as this thing moves up to him. Boom, boom. Is that going to be a hit? That is a hit. Smacking it. And
I took 7 damage, you said?
7 fire damage indeed, yes. And it is going to try to punch Mador. Mador's getting to be dang tricky to hit, though. He manages to slip that blow in the nick of time. You can kind of feel some of his ear hairs sizzling as he barely dodges the blow to his head. Taking us all the way around to Marzal.
Right. I am gonna pray to the iris of the sky that it may shoot true and shoot at the priest.
Okay. I'm going to say that he's slightly concealed, so I'm going to need a DC 5 flat check from you first. And that you made, and that is a critical indeed. For all of the damage. Holy cow. Yeah, That definitely hits him. He takes that's a brutal shot straight to the side of the head, taking off an ear and a piece of skull, but he ain't going down.
And let's see, he gets a 1d6 of fire damage and 1d6 of persistent fire damage.
Ah, so he's also on fire.
Yes.
No wonder it's starting to be hot in here, because half of the involved people in the fight are on fire.
Some are more fun on fire than others.
Yes. All right, and then was that
And-
my full turn?
Then I reload, and that was my full turn.
Okay. That takes us to Modor.
All right. Loose on hammer, disappeared, glaive come out.
Got it. That is a hit. For 12 damage. Boom, 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 boom. And the second attack with the glaive doesn't do much. However, the first glaive attack actually takes it down. Stops burning and falls down in a charred heap, quickly turning to ash. You can hear sort of a contented sigh from it.
So this sort of happened before I got my second attack in?
Yes,
Okay, so I still have my movement then.
that you do.
Till I'm about 10 feet, till about, I'm sorry, weapons reach to that guy.
Yep, I'm going to say that's, he does not reach to you, but you have reached to him.
Does it take, with those gauntlets, does it take one move to summon the glaive?
It does not with those gauntlets.
So I can get one attack on this dude too?
That you can.
Do my third. I mean, do I do the +9 or the +4?
Let me check your attack. That'll be the +9 for you, yes. The +9, sir. Oof. Instead, I'm gonna need a flat DC5 check from Preacher to avoid getting hit, as that combusted just slips on something as Mador's swing comes in, and the glaive's suddenly heading for Preacher instead, which he dodges.
Sorry, Preacher.
That takes us to Mr. Leopold.
Okay, well, Leo's going to start his turn by focusing on his bond with Cherrick and doing a 2-action heal companion. Five plus an extra 8.
Yep, Cherrick's now feeling better.
Okay, and Cherrick will. He's terrified of the fire, so he's going to move to the other side of Preacher, over in this corner. And I think that's my 3 actions. Well, it will be once Cherrick actually finishes that move.
There we are.
Yeah, and then up to this harpy bro, and that's my move.
Let's have ourselves. I got it. Should we get here? There we are. Aha. Right. This Ecclesiarch is going to take one move to disengage. from Zara, and then he needs to take a flat check because Zara has slight cover. And he puts a black ray of some sort of magic straight into the column in front of Zara.
Attack opportunity, Zara.
No, he
He took a
disengaged.
step.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, he kind of whiffed that flat check, so he just ray of enfeebled the column instead of Zara. That is what we call a not whammo. And it is enemy's turn.
Okay, I'm going to move there and cast Disrupt Undead on the other harpy.
Gotcha.
Fortitude save.
That is not a resounding success. You flens off a lot of bone with that.
Is it a critical or?
Not a critical, no.
Okay, then 13 damage.
But still, it still definitely feels it.
I will have Roran move there,
Yum.
and I will have him attack. Not the harpy, the guy.
The Ecclesiarch. Go for it, sir.
Actually, no, I can't have him attack. I use
Okay.
1 to move and 2 to. Yep.
Gotcha. Dun, 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 da, da, ba, 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 da, bow. Whoop. That takes us to the harpy. Harpy's just gonna fly away from here, and then it's gonna shriek. So that's gonna be Preacher, Mador, and Edamir. And I'm gonna need a DC 26 will from each of you.
From who? Sorry.
From Mador, Preacher, and Edamir. All right, Mador's out doing things, so I'm just gonna make the save for him. Boom, 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 boom. So that's gonna be 30 sonic damage to Preacher and Mador, and 15 to Edamir.
Said 15.
15 for you, yes. As the shriek again just hurts your brains and is just 17 shades of unpleasant. And it is Estrella's turn.
Yes, I am going to move up to the burning creature. And actually, I am going to sneak the last part with a -2 to my stealth roll. If I succeed, I get an attack at the end of my sneak.
Okay,
So
go for
even
it.
if I am moving that far and usually with sneaking would not be able to attack, I get one if I succeed in this.
Very well.
So that is a 21.
I'm going to say that's a success against this thing. Yes, it is.
Perfect. So that means it's flat-footed against me as well.
How handy.
Yes. Let's see if I can hit.
You can.
Perfect. And that's another 2d6 for 15 damage.
All right. You sneak up behind that thing. Shove your... what weapon are you using anyway?
I'm using my sword cane.
Yeah, shove the sword cane through the its back in the rib cage, and it falls down into ash. While you were gone, Bonte, Mador took 30 sonic damage from a harpy shriek. I rolled your save for you. And that takes us to Preacher.
Okay. I'm gonna see. Can I do a 5-foot step here and just attack the harpy?
Yeah, it's just a regular move.
Okay. Then I'll burn.
Oh, okay. You already did my damage. Okay.
Yeah, I already fixed it.
Then I'll do key strike on that thing because I've had enough of it. So flurry blows with an extra positive aspect to it. I'll get to that in a moment.
Ooh.
First of all, see if we hit.
That is a critical on the first one and a miss on the second.
Okay, so the first one we're doing plus 2d6. Sorry, no, actually 4d6. This is positive life force damage.
Yeah. Preacher moves up to that harpy and just kind of key strikes it straight in the rib cage, and that thing is blown like a wind chime in tornado level winds and just scattered over a 15-foot area behind it.
Okay, no more of that yelling. Countdown 1, 2. I should have one action left.
Yes, that's correct, sir.
Then I'll move down and say hi to this guy.
Guten Abend. Yep. Leopold can hear Albertine kind of turning and like, come on, EOD, we gotta, where in the world? Shit! And then she sprints up past Leopold. Kind of looks around the room until she spots EOD and lets out a relieved sigh. Speaking of, it is EOD's turn.
Excellent. Can I see Dude Bro from where I'm at, or is there a pillar in the way?
That goes straight through a pillar, so that's going to be a flat DC 5 check, because he has slight concealment from you.
I'm just gonna walk over here, I guess.
Yeah, or you can just, shuffle up to where he no longer has any concealment.
And then I will cast Ray of Frost into his facial area.
Well, that's a critical. Wow. Yeah, Yodi moves up and kind of freezes off his nose. One of his eyes is completely frozen. And he is definitely severely hurt, but still kicking.
He's also got a minus 10 status penalty to speed for the next round.
Oh. Handy piece of information to have right there. He's also got himself a little frost goatee. And that takes us to Zara.
Zara will walk around the pillar and stand right there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to recall knowledge on him.
Oh, that's a good roll. Yeah, this is a very, very rare type of undead, known colloquially as Herexen. I'll write that in chat. It is basically an undead heretic. That's, from what you can see, been a cleric of Quan back in the day before he went and got himself cursed by probably doing something way against the tenets of his goddess. Regular undead immunities, death effects, disease, paralyzed, poison, unconscious. They are nasty customers with powerful spellcasting abilities. They do inspire other undead in the area around them. They can smite with their staffs. They can actually siphon faith from other clerics. And they do have a tendency to explode in a shower of negative energy when killed. In addition to just straight up being pretty tough. But they are very rare. Usually comes from completely bungling up, following their god's tenets, and ending up being super cursed when they die. I have no idea who this individual is, but you should be able to, if you get to a library, actually look that up, because they're rare enough that if one of Quan's clergy became a Herrickson, that should be written down somewhere. Ah,
You
yes.
want to swing at him?
We go straight for the bonk. Bum, 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 bum. That's a critical. Whew. And
So,
Sora just kind of
23.
caves his head in, and he goes kablooey. So that is son of a biscuit. Let me check what is the save on this. That is going to be a DC 24 Fortitude save for Eodi, Zara, Roran, Cherik, and Preacher.
Rules question.
Yes, sir.
I have something called an arcane safeguard, which basically allows me to do a resist magic reaction. So
Oh.
whenever something happens, which is a magic attack, I gain temporary hit points equal to the spell level or triggering effect, as well as if I succeed, I do a critical success. I have +1 to the save.
Okay. So you'll gain 3 temporary hit points here.
Yep. It might be the difference between life and death. This is also +1, but 22 is not enough.
Nope. Zara made it, but Zara's the only one that made it. So that is going to be 37 negative energy damage to Roran, Cherik, Preacher, and Eodi, and 18 negative energy damage to Zara.
Then I'm down and out. So probably a dying 1 condition.
That is correct. Preacher's blown off his feet.
Roaring is also.
And Roran is also blown off his feet.
I felt my mark of death disappear, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so I can confirm he's gone for. Good.
Yes.
I'd be surprised if anything could survive that.
Well, he kind of exploded. So
Yeah.
you can be fairly confident that he's not really in any shape to bother you anymore.
Could have
But
tried to deceive us.
However, both Roran and Preacher are dying, so I assume somebody's going to want to do something about that.
I'm going to focus point heal animal on Roaring.
Oh.
This is
We're
negative.
still in initiative because I'm on fire still.
Ah,
Right. Yes. Zara, did you
I have
do your
one
flat
action
check?
left. Not that I can do anything. So yeah, I'll take my flat check.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Is your whole body on fire or just parts of you?
I'm
taking persistent damage.
Yeah, 5 damage. So enough of Zara's on fire that she's definitely not straight up not having a good time.
All right. I'm running to her.
Oh, we're gonna have to do this in initiative.
initiative. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we got people dead too.
Yep. That takes us to Marisol.
Yeah. So I can't help with the dying, but I can definitely sprint up to Zara and try to help her put out the fire.
Yeah, that's 75, so that's going to be your entire move getting up to her.
Yep, that's what I can do.
So Marisol comes a running. Mudor.
You said negative energy, right?
Yep.
Damage? Okay, as first aid, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm running to Zara too and try to put out the fire.
See, yeah, that's a DC 5 flat check. Oh, just roll a D20 and roll over 5, which is something Zara has been completely unable to do on a lot of her rolls today. There we are. Zara has been put out and is no longer burning.
And then I'll collapse on the floor.
Yeah. And he just gracefully falls over. Leopold. What you gonna do?
Okay. Well, Leo's just gonna run up behind Preacher, but unless a standard medical check can help, there's nothing he can do.
Well, you use 3 actions to get up there, so
Well,
you
yeah, true.
won't get to do anything on this turn. Edamir.
1 second. Yeah, I'm just going to heal animal.
Yeah, that'll take Roran out of being in deep doo-doo. He's now just wounded.
And I will move there.
Yeah. Roran's kind of limping, but not as injured. Well, he's not dying, but he is injured. Estrella.
Yeah. Okay, since Zara is taken care of, Rowan is also standing again. She's going to run to Preacher, and at least he looks humanoid, so going to perform a medicine check on him to try to help him.
Yep, that'll do it. At least stabilizes him. And what was that? 2d8 hit points back.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, sorry, no.
2d8.
Stabilizing is just a thing of self.
Okay.
It hasn't been. Have you been treated by Estrella within the last hour?
No.
He was treated by Mador.
Then
It's treated by anybody.
Oh,
No. Is
but
it?
stabilizing is a thing in itself, I think, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say he's been stabilized. He's still unconscious, however.
And then she's looking around. Where are the children?
Come on. I'm gonna go look in.
Yeah, Albertine is gonna move up to Preacher and go like, "Whew, I hope nobody else gets hurt, because I don't think I've got any more of these in me." And it's gonna heal Preacher for 18.
I've got 1 left. I was going to do that.
See her, she's sitting down with her back towards one of the columns, looking kind of pale and sweating.
Looking around the companions. We have enough wounded.
Yes, but we're down here. We need to find the children if they're down here.
Yeah. Let us spread out on search for the children. Albertine, you stay with Mador and rest for a moment, dear.
But be careful. There could be more enemies. We don't know.
Let's stay together, the 3 of us.
Yes, and look out for traps. There were some in the hallway.
Then you go first and look for them, because I have no idea what to look for.
Yeah, Albertine just kind of sighs, pats Preacher, who's sitting next to her on the knee, and takes out the flask that she picked up in the barn, takes a good gulp, and then hands it to Mador.
I'll take a hit off of it too.
Yeah, afterwards she looks up at Sarah when she's done vomiting and like, "Here, this will help a bit."
Zero will take the
I'm
flask and have a swig out of it.
Yeah, there's a slight smell of apple and a very, very strong smell of alcohol. So you're kind of surprised that thing didn't explode just being in the proximity of those burning undead.
I'm just gonna lean up on the or sit on the pillar and pray. Try
Right.
to refocus and spend 10 minutes, depending on our time.
Yeah. Estrella and Marisol, and who was the third person in your fire team? Was
Leo.
that Leo? Yeah. We're moving around. You do find the children up in what looks like an old bathhouse, or not so much a bathhouse as well an inbuilt pool underground, which well, there's some warm steam coming up from it.
Are they hurt?
Both of the kids are unconscious. They seem to have been drugged, if you're to guess.
Okay.
At
We'll
least
just
they
have to
are.
get them out of here.
Yeah, at least they are alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you take a look at them in case they are wounded and we can't see it? You know some medicine, don't you?
A little bit, yes.
I also know medicine.
But I usually treat the adults, not children.
What the world has happened to Leo's name? Well, I'll leave you to deal with that.
It's the werewolf sickness.
Yeah. It's the werewolf sickness. He's starting to howl.
There we go.
Yeah, checking it out, Leopold's pretty certain they've been sedated with something.
Okay. I can carry one. Do you manage the other, Leo?
Yeah. I feel fit enough to do that.
I can help you with it. I mean, I'm injured myself, but together we should be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty fine, so I can take one, no problem.
Keep an
Yeah.
eye out for traps and devices, Estrella.
And then we'll carry the kids.
All right.
Leopold recognizes the. They've been given a strong dose of pretty common concoction made by rangers to help deal with pain and fevers. They should be out for probably 6 to 8 hours.
He passes that on along with his suspicion that Leash gave the kids this.
Yeah, that would make sense. She was a fallen follower of Guiltine, at least. We have the kids, people.
They are
Zora's gonna start
unconscious.
searching the ecclesiarch.
They are unconscious, but apparently fine otherwise. Unconscious may be a blessing down here.
Sora's searching the ecclesiarch.
Estrella, can you check the other chambers? Anything we missed?
Well,
Sure.
currently, Zora's checking the ecclesiarch, so we'll deal with that first. The ecclesiarch is wearing the aforementioned robes, formerly white and blues of a healer, but now fouled with all sorts of ichor and nasty undead oozing, foulness. He is carrying a staff that may have been a part of what was his vestments back in the day. There's also a letter on him written in Necril. Does Sora read Necril?
No, I read Jotun.
Right. Pretty certain that staff itself is magical in some way. The what's it called? Disfigured holy symbol might have some worth to the Church of Quan. You wouldn't know. Not really. Not being a follower of Quan, you don't know their stance on that sort of thing. On his back, he has a rolled up piece of cloth that turns out to be a banner, very finely made, with a white longship on a dark green background. Tucked into his belt, he has got a rolled up parchment and a book, a pretty hefty book, bound in leather in the way that would make it waterproof as well. Even so, it shouldn't have survived down here due to its obvious age, so there must be some magic involved.
So Zara is actually a scroll user. She's got scroll thaumaturgy. So I'm gonna look at that rolled up parchment. Is it a scroll?
Well, technically, but it's not a magical scroll. It's not a spell casting scroll. It seems to be an honor roll for a military detachment with names of who is the champion for each squad and platoon, and others who have been honored for going above and beyond in their service. Judging from the names, this is probably from the First Empire. You can see
Zara's
that
gonna throw the holy symbol over her neck into the smattering of other holy symbols she's wearing. She's gonna take the staff and the book and give it to Eodi.
Right. She can see that the book and the scroll have the same emblem as the banner that she found. But the book and the staff are given to Eodi.
Yeah, Yodi tucks them away. He's looking very haggard at the moment, so he's not too concerned with those items.
What about the banner, Zara?
We should put it in our bag of deal with it later. It having a matching symbol to this scroll and the book probably provides clues on what these fools are up to with their defilement of tombs. So we'll have to find someone who can read the letter and the book. Maybe we can get ourselves some clues on where to go next for another payout.
Yeah, definitely deal with it later.
They are in different language?
Old.
I couldn't read the letter.
Yeah, the Sarah's a thaumaturge, so I'm guessing she reads some interesting languages. But the book and the scroll are in the language of the First Empire. The verse lore should be enough to roll that. Those languages are pretty common. Indeed, yeah. The scroll is an honor roll of the legion that the banner belongs to. The book is the order of battle of the same legion, with every name written down from cooks and logistics. personnel to down to the squad level in every single platoon and division.
You said the book is like a list, like that's what the book is just a list of all of the military members?
The full order of battle with gear and what every person is supposed to be equipped with and carrying and wearing. It's a complete order of battle for that division. Or legion in this case.
And should it not prove useful, I'm sure that there is a collector out there that'll pay a pretty penny for a book in such good condition.
Yeah, now that you've had a bit more time to look around, notice that this place is in surprisingly good shape. It's well built, obviously built to last. With a small armory in addition to a kitchen, a dining hall, barracks, what seems to be a commander's office, and the heated pools found by Estrella and et al. Slightly weird to look at, but the detritus of bones and ash and other various and sundry bits of undead are being well brushed up, it looks like, by something.
Oh God. Preacher is basically observing this and very, very slowly getting to somewhat the normal function. But I notice that something is brushing things up, so I flick on my arcane eyes and try to see if I see something invisible.
Yeah, you see, it's more of a shape. It's a person shaped. Somebody in light armor. It looks like the sort of thing you'd expect a page or a squire to be wearing, with a broom. Seems to be cleaning up the pieces of undead. You can see more of those shapes moving about in the gloom and darkness of the area you're in, kind of replenishing candles and polishing lamps.
Okay, I give some kind of honor salute version from the first empire that I remember.
Yes, indeed, you do remember being from the First Empire. As you do that, all of the shapes you can see stop and give the same salute. Back to Preacher. And a door to the south opens up with one of the shapes moving over and beckoning to it.
I stagger in that direction. It seems my body is not actually cooperating. Preacher is trembling slightly because of the shock of negative energy. But I'm staggering over that location. Probably looking kind of weird since I'm not communicating anything, just moving and...
Estrella is studying him and looking at him. What's going on here?
Well, Preacher moves into what seems to be a mess hall where food is rapidly being placed on the tables set out for 11 people, plus some bowls for pets. Takes barely 2 or 3 minutes before there's a full meal of well, it seems like quail, duck with an orange reduction, pies.
Plum pie?
Probably.
We are welcome. Bring the others, I'll say, and then collapse into one of the seats at the head of the table.
Yeah. For Preacher himself, there's a sort of concoction being poured from an invisible carafe. It pulses slightly in the light. Seems to have roughly the same color as the sort of liquids you've seen spill from Preacher when he's been gravely injured.
Well, I'm bringing my kid over and looks at what the hubbub is about.
Good, friendly ghosts.
Good enough for me. Is this thing edible? I sniff it. I pick up for something on the table and sniff it.
Well, it's prepared by ghosts apparently, so I'm not too sure. And I know we are pretty bait up, but we shouldn't get too comfortable. Full moon, you know.
I know, but if I can have a good meal before I get on the back of a horse wounded, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
We have had ghost servants before.
Yeah, we've had nice ghosts before. I trust them.
Interesting.
We'll have to cover the entrance up and remember this place. It could be a useful bolt hole should something happen at Ravensbridge.
Absolutely. This is pretty nice if we clean it out of all the things. But it seems like it's being cleaned. And this tastes delicious.
I was going to say, it seems like it cleans itself thanks to the ghosts. Thank you.
These are members of the First Empire Legions, so show respect, and in a way, these are the closest to kin I have left in this world.
Of course. I think we should eat and then perhaps move on.
I also need to see if I can find some blankets to wrap up the kids in. If they're sleeping, they're going to be very likely to be cold.
True.
Well, we found a barracks, I think. We should look in there and see if there are any spare blankets or something to keep
Well,
the children warm.
also, are any of you good with children? Because they will need some consoling when they wake up.
Yes, we'll have to. Someone will have to ride in the cart with them and
Probably
be
not
ready for
me.
them to be scared.
That sounds like a wonderful job for Albertine.
Yes, Albertine is probably one of our best bets. Or Estrella and me, because we are human and will probably look more.
Oh,
nice
the kids aren't human. The kids look much more like Mador.
Ah, they're Elven. Well, perhaps he should talk to them then.
Do they have the same dark skin?
They do.
Then he may be our best choice.
True.
Yeah.
Him
Although his
and
bedside manner could use some work.
yeah, but if we place him next to Albertine, everybody loves Albertine.
Iodi has eaten many hatchlings. Iodi can talk to them.
Yodi
I
should be
think
on the
not.
horse with me, I think.
The eater of sheep, not the eater of hatchlings, Eodi.
Iodi has many names, Leopold. Do not presume.
But we do not want these hatchling to think we're gonna eat them, Master Yodi.
Iodi is confused. I will ride on the horse.
Come, eat first.
Yeah, the food is fantastic, quite invigorating. Yes, Mador.
Are these pure cavern elves or half like me?
Half like you.
Question.
Yes.
During the meal, I obviously drink of this fluid. Wondering a little bit what happens with that, but also turn over to whoever's got the book of the Legion and ask to see it.
I believe Iodi is the one with the book.
Am I? Oh, I thought I got something different. Yes, okay. Say that again?
Iodi, could I look at that book for a moment?
Absolutely. And I'll just slide it over to him.
What I'm looking at, basically, I'm trying to jumpstart my memory, looking both at names and the people in those squads, see if anything jumps out at me or names that I recognize.
A lot of this is familiar. You don't think this is the Legion you were a part of, but you remember being a part of it in an equivalent Legion to this. And you can, looking at the order of battle, and especially at the gear, you do notice that they did bring a soul transfer device.
Last resort save, yeah. That's what happened to me.
In addition, you can see that they have one specialist platoon marked as elite with what's called either heavy automata, scout automata, or mage automata.
Yeah, that would have been me as well. Later days, anyway. I slide the book back once done, but I ask you not to part with it unless I have another look at it.
Mador.
So the two that were in the wagon that we came across that were dead,
Yes.
were they half drow or were they just half elves?
They were half drow.
Okay.
That they were. So you have yourself a solid meal. Feel invigorated, as if you had a good night's sleep. This would probably have been powerful magic a couple of millennia ago, but before it had the time to fade. But currently, everybody's only healed for 2 hit points of damage.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Certainly is.
I'm gonna go raid for blankets so we can put the kids in the wagon and keep them warm.
Yeah, going out and looking around, you can see that most of the doors have been closed down here, but over by the exit there are 2 sleds. The type that they have a sort of belt you put on around your waist to pull them. And there are blankets on those sleds, in addition to furs.
That's perfect. We'll just have to put the sledge in the wagons because we're gonna have to bring all of it, and I'm not walking. But so, these furs will keep them nice and warm.
Indeed. It's very helpful of these spirits.
It better not be fox fur.
No, seems to be mostly sheep.
Ah, it's perfect. Yeah, nice.
Ah, must be Yodi's doing.
I'm gonna take one of them to make a cape for Yodi in secret.
Yeah, when we are getting ready to leave, I say my thanks to the spirits, and look around this just to memorize the place a little bit, and then get ready to leave.
We can always mark it on our map that we have.
Yeah, we should definitely mark it. This is beautiful.
Yeah, especially for Preacher, it feels homey. You pretty much know where everything is in this place, or where it should be anyway, because it's built after a standard that you're starting to remember.
I kind of want to look around more, but we are in a hurry.
Something of home, Preacher?
As close as can be. This layout is not uncommon. Was not uncommon in the places that were built by the legions, and I lived in such a place for quite some time.
Then we should definitely mark this place so that you may come back.
Oh, I will.
I'm gonna carry my kid up to the wagon and start making him or her comfortable.
All right.
We bring the sleds. So
Yeah. Taking the second kid and following her out.
Although I was carrying the second kid.
We were eating by now, so. Of course, you can carry it again, but I'm not looking for traps anymore.
I think we're clear on traps.
Right. Well, getting out. It's now gotten dark again outside. You do notice that you are starting to be short on time on getting to the abbey, so I'm going to assume you want to hightail it in that general direction.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we are.
Absolutely. Luckily, we have some people with dark vision.
quite a few.
Indeed, and with skis and those sleds and horses and Edamir's spell from last session showing you the most efficient way, you are making a pretty good time. And on that note, we've been going for a little while, so we're going to take 10 here, and we'll be back very shortly once people have had bio and coffee breaks. So let's say 10 minutes.
Okay.
And there we are. Excellent. So, pushing on up the mountain. You now have pretty much have two choices. If you want to visit Ronsarbeck, you're going to have to make a detour currently, because you sigged when you into the wilderness to find this place. If not, you're going to be off-roading it the entire way up to the abbey. So that is a choice you guys are going to have to make. What you want to be doing.
We're gonna let Adamir lead the way because he's the one that is most adept at getting through here.
Whatever is the best path to the Abbey.
Right. Yeah, that'll actually be off-road currently, because you traveled an hour away from the road. So now you're following animal paths and like elk trails and that sort of thing through smaller and smaller trees as you get higher and higher up on the mountain, until the point where it's mostly just shrubland and bushes and moss. But you find yourselves crossing a hill and looking down into a valley where there's a smattering of huts and houses that aren't actually marked on your map. You can see smoke coming from most of the chimneys, and people in black and white walking around between houses and in a little marketplace. And then up on the other side of the hill, next to the mountainside, there's a large black stone building. With it's got walls around it, but you can still see the top 3 floors or so, and the rounded roof on it.
Think we can offload the kids there? You think they're friendly?
I don't know. Is that the Abbey? Maybe the kids are better with the Abbey at first. Aren't clerics supposed to take care of orphans?
Some of them.
They will at least know where we can take them, bring them here. And we need to get out of the cold as soon as possible.
We need to get to the Abbey as soon as possible.
Yes.
Right, so I take it you're heading for the Abbey.
Pushing on.
Yeah. Well, traveling through the little township at the bottom of the valley, looking up at the Abbey, you see lots of people walking around in a black and white, winter clothing, not too heavy, pretty loose and light. You also notice most of them have really, really large and calloused hands. The ones walking around in that clothing, you're only getting polite nods and some smiles as you pass through. People of both genders walking around there. There are some in civilian clothing, but if you were to hazard a guess, maybe 1 in 10 here. It's not wearing what looks to be some sort of uniform.
want to look around and see if anybody's giving us like weird glances or following us.
Not a lot of weird glances, no, but you're being observed. These people are definitely aware that you're people with a capacity for violence traveling through their township. A lot of the tools you see them working with, like sickles and sides and that sort of thing, look like they could very quickly turn to weapons of war if these people felt like doing that. There's a lot of staffs standing around as well, leaned towards houses and wells, the well, and in general, most of these people have something that could be used as a weapon close to hand. Yes, Mador.
Is anyone paying particular attention to Aberdeen?
No more than the rest of you.
And have the kids woken up yet?
The kids have woken up, but they haven't actually talked to anybody. They've mostly been staring out into space.
No surprise.
Poor things.
Coming up on the abbey itself, as you were heading towards the large doors, maybe 15 feet in height, they glide open to reveal a courtyard of even more people dressed in that black and white, but also a lot of them just bare-chested, wearing loose pants, and they are definitely sparring and doing all sorts of monk shit, running over obstacle courses, doing one-finger push-ups, and standing on one foot on logs, and then kicking out in the air and that sort of thing. Yes, Mador.
Were we? I'm trying to remember. Were we given a letter from the Grand Master? Was I given a letter from the Grand Master?
You were.
Well,
So-
Aberdeen, looks like this might be your home for a little while.
Yeah, Albertine's looking around, going like, "Oh, I thought learning to use the sword and the lance was challenging." And she's looking at some of these people like doing backflips over logs and in general sprinting around and being all acrobatic. And I don't know
Looks
if
like
this is
preacher.
the place for me.
This is not a. Don't look at this as a training of the body. In your case, I think it's going to be more of a training of the mind by training the body.
At least I have not seen anyone doing that trick where they lift a red hot brazier with their forearm.
Ah, no, that is for when we are cooking dinner. An elderly man steps out from behind one of the other monks. You have no idea where the hell he came from.
Leo just bows to him.
I nod to him. I've seen preachers sneak around, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he is tall, probably around 2 meters of height, whip thin, dressed in a dark blue suit, the type that's popular in the Ebon Coast, with the cravat and the very shiny black shoes with the black can't remember the name of it. Not a tie, but the other thing you have around your neck.
Ascot?
Yes, there we are. Thank you. And he's got long graying hair in dreadlocks falling over his shoulders and down his back. Skin almost as black as the clothing around the other monks around him are wearing. Gives you a little bow, looks especially at Albertine, like, well, welcome to the Abbey. I believe I know why you are here. Do not feel disheartened looking at the followers of the Ebon Soul. They are not the only ones who dwell in the Abbey.
I'll approach him, bow to him, and give him the letter.
And actually, we have another pressing matter on hand. She is waving towards, I think it was Zara and Adamir. It seems like the group had some trouble on the way and need medical and maybe clerical assistance.
No,
Oh.
I'm fine.
It was Mador.
Ah,
Yes, you do look like you've been through a fight or two on your way here.
Several. I am sorry. What do we call you?
I am Father Rowley.
Father?
You may call me Rashan.
Very well. Rashan. I am Leopold. My companions and I form a group known as the Knight Thorns. And we have escorted Miss Albertine here for further training. Several of our number had an encounter with a lycanthrope. We may need some help.
Ah, yes, the cure for lycanthropy can often be worse than the disease itself, or at least equally lethal.
well,
However, you have come to the right place. We will ready some tea for you all.
I got
As
some
far-
extra wolfbane if you need it.
as far as I understood, they have not turned yet, so maybe that helps.
Indeed. Please. He holds out a hand, and two other monks pick up the kids. I understand you've had yourself a grueling travel up here.
We had indeed.
It wasn't that bad.
These two children lost their parents. We don't know if they have other family, so they would need to have a guardian until we know more about them, or maybe you can find out more.
We will take care of the matter. Worry not, these are not the first orphans that find their way to us. Aravan provides both mysteries and answers for those who seek. But please, for now, come, let me show you where the dormitory is so that you can get washed and changed.
Thank you.
We will be delighted, Rashan. Thank you.
And, he shows you to. It's a lot less fancy than what you're used to. The rooms are small with a bed. Not so much a window as just a small hole in the wall to get fresh air and some light. And, just some wash dishes and a place to hang your cloak or coat.
Efficient.
More than enough. And it's not outside.
Once you've gotten situated and have washed up, he's waiting for you in the hallway outside of the rooms. My apologies, I know the guest rooms are quite opulent, but I hope they will not be a distraction to your spiritual journey.
I think we'll
I
survive.
I sleep outside anyway. It's fine.
Spiritual journey, yes.
Well, I will show you to the abbot. I believe he may have some both questions and answers for you. Yeah. Brings you to an inner courtyard where there's currently only one man, pretty short and quite stocky of build, bald with a gray goatee, also dressed in the suit with the cravat, common in the Ebon Coast. This is an elderly man with white furrowed skin and lots of wrinkles. He bows when you enter. Welcome. You can call me Corentin.
Good to meet you.
Welcome to the Black Abbey, where the monks of the Ebon Soul, in addition to others, reside. Now, why are you here?
It's a bit multifaceted at this point. Originally, we were hired to escort young Albertine up here for her training. However, we have had an encounter with some werewolves and had a few members bitten. So we were also hoping that perhaps you had a better way than the wolfsbane to ensure that we aren't infected.
Ah, yes, the wolfsbane. Raw wolfsbane can be a very effective treatment to lycanthropy, mostly as it leaves whoever imbibes it quite dead, usually, and thus unable to turn into anything except mulch. An effective but not necessarily desirable solution to the issue. However, you're not the first, and I believe won't be the last to have had an encounter with werewolves heading our way. So this is a thing we can deal with. Please, take a seat, have some tea. He nods over to a stone table with some stone chairs around it. But what brings you here, except for the money in escorting the young champion here for her training?
I'm Bowles hands a letter from the Grand Master to him in regards to me.
I see. So you would join the Raven Knights.
This is just phase one of 3 phases from what the Grand Master told me.
Well, there are many steps on the way to joining the Knights. You've taken some of them already, just by reaching the Abbey. Not all who travel here make it up while while the followers of the Ebon Soul keep the valley and the closest area safe, we do not travel too far from it. For many reasons. The fact that getting here is supposed to be challenging is one of them. But you have done great good heading here. Intercepting the fallen tracker of Apollo, rescuing the children. From what my scouts tell me, she must have been quite a formidable opponent.
She was, Abbot.
The Herexon was as well.
Ah, yes. I can see the symbol around your companion's neck. Looks over to Zara.
Do not mind Zara. She collects such things.
Oh, I would never judge her spirituality just from what she wears, but the symbol is familiar to me. It was worn by a former father of this abbey named Anselm Devereux.
Yes, that's who went boom.
I am afraid we did not have time to ask his name.
Well,
We
he
did
was
collect his head if you would like to inspect it to make sure it's the same member, though.
well. Why not? Precision in all things. I would like to inter it and see if his spirit may still be saved. Anselm was a follower of Anku. And when the pantheon got rearranged, and Anku and Kwan took up a shared seat, it troubled him greatly, to the point where he fell from grace. He was an old man by that time. He fell sick shortly after. We assumed that come morning we would inter his remains and he could take up his grievances with Anko and Kwan directly, but to our surprise, after breathing out his last during the night, he must have gotten up and left.
Wait one, rummaging around among the heads in the bag. This one, that one, no, that. Okay, this one.
Yes, the bag of heads.
And mice.
Yeah, as you pull the head out, you the abbot lets out a sigh and like, huh, that's him. He has looked better for sure. It was a blow to many of the clergy of both Anko and Kwan that these two goddesses took up a shared mantle. Please.
Sorry?
Put it over there, and I will bring the head to the crypt and inter it with the correct rituals to give his soul a chance of redemption. And now, where did you stumble over? He has been hiding for centuries, corrupting young, faithful, whispering in the night, not taking any action that could lead us to him.
Yeah, there was an underground hideout, like an hour from the street. We found it when we followed the tracks of the ones who took the children. Seems like
Policeman Horn had something to do with this man.
also been taken care of.
Well, troubling, to be sure. If Anselm was working with her, one can only
Working with
what-
and working with, he was threatening her and telling, and they were blackmailing her into working for them.
Apparently, he threatened to kill her children. We don't know where they are.
Hmm.
And the children we brought were supposed to be, what are we going to call that?
Offerings.
Sacrifices.
Yeah.
We found some travelers on the road, Father. Sorry, Abbot. They had been slaughtered, but they had hidden their children. And, Miss Van Horn took them as offerings for the late cleric.
Ah, yes. Well, that sounds more like the Anselm that we've been chasing for such a long time. Blackmail, bribery, and corruption were a lot more his speed than going into direct confrontation and risking his own life. If you found him in one of the old furnishings of the First Empire, there must be something from those that whoever Anselm was working for wants.
Didn't you guys find a letter with him?
Zara's gonna pull it out of one of her pouches. Yeah, I can't read it though.
Perhaps someone here can.
Oh, I'm certain. Father Rashan will be able to read it. That man has an unending gluttony for mysteries.
Well, it's yours then.
Yeah. He nods as you put the letter down, but doesn't touch it. I will ask the father to have a look at it. Yes, young dragon.
Iodi has a question of a different nature, but I would ask our fearless leader first for direction. We do have the body of our fallen comrade with us. Is this not the place where we should make decisions? I do not worry about using spells to keep her, fresh. But perhaps we should make a choice on what we do with this.
I believe we should have that conversation amongst ourselves, Iodi, but thank you for reminding me. Perhaps the abbot would have a place where we could leave our dear Cal for a short time while we debate the matter.
A fallen comrade. Well, we can place her and keep her fresh for a short time while you discuss your options. Be aware, though, this is not a wealthy abbey. We cannot use the sort of expensive magic that would wake somebody from the dead without recompense.
We would not ask you to, Abbot. Do not worry.
We don't have diamonds lying around, as you understand.
Indeed not. That would be most odd. We will discuss the matter, and the looking after our friend would be sufficient.
Very well. Give her to me, and I will take her and Anselm down to the crypt for now, while you discuss amongst yourself.
Iode?
Yes.
Is Kyle's body still in the cart?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
I will go and fetch her, the abbot. Mado, you were closest to Kyle. Would you like to come with me?
I guess I could.
Then Mador and Leo will go back to the cart to bring Cal's body.
Right. And the body is still wrapped in sheets the way it was when you put her there. Yeah, but respectfully follows a few steps behind while you go together, and then leads you down into a fairly clean, brightly lit, but still very cold room under the abbey, where there are a few monks working on tending to various graves. It seems the monks here inter people on shelves in the rock instead of burying them. And he gives instructions that her body is to be kept in a state where it can be resurrected with divine magic.
Leo will lay Cal's remains carefully down.
And you said the abbot is the one that followed us?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the abbot if do they have any dwarves that shows up here?
Repeat the question, please.
Are there dwarves that will come in here?
Well, God Captain Hindmarsh is half-dwarf.
Our friend was an adopted dwarf, was she not?
She was an adopted dwarf of the Strong Axe clan. I have her clan dagger.
Ah. Well, I would suggest you leave it with the body for now. Until Shanice can... Actually, no, bring it with you. Who knows when Shanice will be back? She likes roaming the hills around here looking for a fight. I believe she is the one you will learn the most from here when it comes to your own journey toward knighthood. There are many paths to taking that first step that you are to take. I could, of course, keep you here to meditate and balance rocks on sticks and drink lots of tea. But for you, I think not that this is the correct way of doing it.
The Grandmaster said, if anything, most I'll be up here will be a week.
Indeed.
Well, he probably knows more than I do.
Well, I think I have the perfect job for you. Let's go back to your companions and see.
But I'll need a cure first before that happens, since I am one of the people who've been bitten.
Oh, worry not, my friend. And while Leopold and Mador is gone, what are the rest of you discussing?
Oh, I'm so torn on what we're gonna do with the poor Cal.
Likewise.
I know she had things she needed to do still, and she asked me to find her fiance. Of course, I'll do whatever I can to do so, but I feel like she left us way too early.
Well, if you know her family, maybe bringing her back would be a good idea. Well, I know I would like to be with my family.
She
I don't.
definitely had plenty left undone that she would prefer to see done herself, if I had to make a assumption.
Yeah, exactly. And I miss her. She was a grumpy one, but she grew on me.
And with the bounty from Lee's Van Horn's head, we could probably afford the diamond.
That
Although we'll
reminds
have
me.
to get with the abbot about the cost.
I pick out the bag that we got when we were given the bounty on lease. She told me it would be filled.
Yep. It is heavy with gold.
Well, this should be a start.
Yeah, so we just need to find the diamonds, right?
Gold can pay for diamonds.
That's true, but we have to find someone who has some, who can sell us some.
I bet the
Um,
abbot knows.
Do you know what faith she was following? If it's actually okay with her?
I don't know. Perhaps Mador knows.
Well, he's not back yet.
How much was the bounty for? I can't remember.
Well, if none of you know her faith, it's even more important to find her family.
Well, she was an adopted dwarf. They often follow the lawful gods. You know, Aller and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Shago,
Yes, that's me.
could I make a lore check to know if any of the gods in our pantheon are against normal resurrection?
Yes, you could. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Most of the gods wouldn't. Most of the gods wouldn't have anything against it. With the followers of Anku slash Kwan, the goddess of healing and the goddess of death, it's a bit of a more difficult proposition where they may very well will not want to be resurrected themselves, because the death is a natural part of life, unless it was they had a lot of undone things, and the clergy of Anku agree that they need to resurrect this individual. But most of the gods would not have have huge issues with it. Depends a bit on how and why they died. Say a paladin that turned from their god and was slain trying to become a blackguard probably wouldn't have any any backing from that god when it came to being called back.
I'm not certain that it matters who she followed. The Pantheon is perfectly okay with resurrection, except for in very niche circumstances. Resurrecting the faithless ecclesiarch we slayed would be an example of someone they would not resurrect.
Yeah, and we wouldn't try to do that anyway.
Well, good to know. I have to admit I was not a really good study in religion.
And as far as I know, from studying where I come from, the dead has a choice. They can choose not to come back. So if she doesn't want to come back, she has the choice to not do so.
But you also said she still had a lot to do, so
Yes.
you don't know until you try.
No. And the gold in here should cover it easily. It'll be less of a cut for us, but still a lot less left for most of us when we go there. The bounty for Lies was 1,600 gold. So we can afford it.
What level was Kelazir when she died? She was 4th, right?
Yep. Well, the abbot, Mador, and Leopold walk back in.
You were her close friend, Mador. What do you think? Would she want you? Come back.
I really wouldn't know. She very rarely. I knew what she was looking for, or who she was looking for. I knew it did have to do with coloring the hags, but she was, I believe, turned to stone for at least 6 months. And to be honest, it's a tough decision. It would be a tough decision to ask me. I myself would like to see her back, but on the other hand,
Well, the thing is that if we do this and she doesn't want to come back, she will simply not wake up. She can choose once we call her. So it's a decision on whether or not we're going to spend the gold and have them try to resurrect her. I was just hoping maybe you had some insight to whether or not it would work.
Regarding
in
the
all rights,
time,
in all rights, she's a human, adopted by dwarves, the clan Strong Axe.
Well, if race doesn't matter that much, we could always reincarnate.
We could, of course. As you hear from Roshan as he comes walking into the room. Always ask her.
Then let's do that. How much would it cost us? We would donate to the church.
However, currently, there is something I think you need to know. Next to him is a tall, broad woman with hair down in a red hair down in one collected in one, not a bun, but braid over her right shoulder, clad in a plate armor of gold and red, and with a two-handed sword with wings on the parry guard, kind of floating next to her as she walks in. She gives you all a huge smile. Hello, I'm Janice Hindmarsh, captain of the guard here. Roshan came to me the moment he'd read your letter. We have a matter of some urgency.
Oh, please tell.
It seems their Anselm was waiting for his lord or a lady, and to give him the orders to start exhuming graves, not only graves, but finding that book you brought with the names of that legion from the First Empire, so that whoever he was serving could use the names and the bindings of the contracts to summon these spirits back into undead bodies to fight for them.
Du lieber Gott.
So I probably don't have to tell you anything with the power to summon an undead legion. It's an enormous worry.
Absolutely.
I should think so, yeah.
From what we can read from the letter, his next target after the chapel of the First Legion there was the ruins of the Castle Montfort. It's roughly half a week's travel from here through the mountains. It was one of the bastions in these mountains up until the demons attacked 2 years ago when House Montfort fell as one of many noble houses. But they were known for their Pegasus riders and counted many great champions and skilled knights among their number. I believe it is fate that has brought you here currently, with your companion Mador on a quest to gain entry into the knighthood in Ravensbridge. You see, House Montfort were close allies of Ravensbridge, and the lands of House Montfort was given to them by the knights and has been lost. If you would go to Castle Montfort, check that the crypts have not been disturbed, take back the lands, I believe you will also be able to find the riches needed to bring your companion back.
If it involves killing undead, I'm in.
I'm in.
I think we already have the funds to bring our companion back, but yes, I think we would agree to help. None of us wish to see an undead legion sweeping the area.
I definitely don't want to see that, but I still have a contract.
Well, if the land is eaten by undeads, you don't have a contract.
Zara?
Yes, and We do have contracts, and they have an army. They are a fairly large, well-paid nation. They want to pay us to deal with their legion problem. We should look into that. But just gallivanting off like some heroes, like the stories of the Red Lions in those magazines that they keep selling. They're going to need to find themselves some lions.
I definitely don't feel like a lion. I know my hair screams like it, but no, I'm not.
I'm more of a fox.
Where I come from, heroes are kind of pretty normal.
Sounds like an interesting place.
Oh, it is.
But where I'm from, heroes are super rare and mostly dead, so I would like to avoid that.
I understand.
I'm willing to put my hand to some heroism if the bag's heavy enough.
Well, you did say that there would be funds to bring Cal back.
Treasures to find or not payment.
This is a point. However, you are now in charge of the contracts, so I will let you negotiate.
As for myself, I preventing enslaving of the spirits of the legions that I considered brothers and sisters would be a worthy cause I would take up. That said, good Abbot, I would like to talk to your master at arms before we go for the rest for the evening.
Well, if you all decide to do this, I will have to send a letter to my employer telling him to please ask someone else to investigate. That will definitely leave a mark on my name, but yeah.
Well, what exactly madam, are you investigating?
There are some villages that are being raided, and I was asked to find out by whom and maybe, if possible, stop it, which is probably not possible, but at least gather information about that.
Well, you see, we don't quite know what's in Castle Montfort yet. Our good guard captain Shanice here and those monks of a more martial bent are currently being kept quite busy as there seems to be some exodus of orcs out of the Valley of Jagged Teeth. We quite simply can't leave the region for over a week to travel to Castle Montfort and back. But the rumors that are trickling in is that the villages around the Castle Montfort are now quite empty. And it's spreading out from the castle as if ink has been dropped into a bowl of water. Montfort seems to be in the middle of it. So, whatever is raiding the villages, I would say you have a pretty good chance of finding it there.
Well, in that case, that solves my dilemma.
We will leave you to deliberate.
We still have the issue of the moon rising, and some people might be, turning.
Oh, no, you had the antidote with lunch. Do not worry.
She looks a bit skeptical at her tea.
I did not know that was in the tea.
Well, it's all we had. I'm getting tired.
The dwarf looks over at Preacher. Like, Master Preacher, you wanted a word with me before.
Yes. Two things. The first being that I think we have depleted our complement of potions. We would, of course, reimburse any such that we could perhaps buy from you. And secondly, we have been fighting an increasing number of undead. We have in our possession certain items that we have laid aside for later study. Perhaps with your help, we could ascertain if something like this in our armory could help us in our fights, or if something you have could be procured to help us combat undead.
Oh,
We have suffered
absolutely.
hard under various types of attack, and quite frankly, we would love to be able to hit them a little bit harder.
Absolutely. This is something we can absolutely discuss.
Also, I would, if there's a weaponsmith in around the abbey, I would like to discuss a weapon. My own bow and dagger is less than effective against some of the undead. I would need a new weapon.
And if you have an alchemist, I would like to have a word with him.
Well, it seems between breakfast and lunch tomorrow we shall be quite busy.
Yes. One last favor. I would like to partake in the evening training.
Oh, you are more than welcome to.
Thank you.
See, the way you move, I think we could learn things from each other. You have training from another temple, do you not?
Yes. It was quite a while ago, though, so.
Well, there we are. I'm certain we can learn much from each other.
I look forward to it.
Excellent. And unless anybody has a mother, yes?
What of Aberdeen?
The Lady Albertine will sadly have to stay here while you go to Castle Montfort to continue her training.
Make sure she does. She's very headstrong.
Oh, believe me, she is not the first headstrong young champion to come to the Abbey, nor will she be the last.
Might we be allowed to say our farewells before we depart?
Absolutely. Let us do that after lunch tomorrow.
Marisol is basically sitting and leaning on the wall and half asleep already.
Yep, most of you are definitely feeling the last 48 hours at the point we're getting up to now.
Mador, were you going to do your evening's exercises before turning in?
Leopold, I guess he's not too, how would you say, observant. I always do them in the morning.
Very well. Isn't that I did not
I will
know
be
if
doing
you-
them in the morning, yes.
Very good, my friend. I will try and join you.
Unless you have a pull arm, there's no sense to it.
I can at least observe.
And on that note, we are heading towards the natural ending point for today's session. We will not be on next Sunday because I'm off for training, but Sunday after, the 13th, I believe it will be, 12th, we will be back with another session. So next week, nothing, but after that, we'll be back. I'll try to get this session up on the YouTube by tomorrow before I leave. Depends a bit on how much I have to do. Well, it's been a busy weekend, and it's going to be a couple of very busy weeks for me. On that note, we're going to let Mr. Tolmar, our esteemed streamer, find somebody to raid, go off to our after-session debrief, and we will catch you all next time. So thank you for joining. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be well. Be excellent to one another, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye, and
Bye.
welcome all the
Bye.
raiders that stayed.
Bye.